if I was to make this library such that it only works for Heliboard, then that's pretty self-defeating.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Fireside Fetty, episode 91. Fireside Fetty, show about people, blah, 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 blah. We're all used to it now. We're on 91, so if anyone is catching this, just go check out one of the other 90 episodes, and you'll see exactly what the intro is like. With me today is Eclexic, also the Eclectic Dyslexic at mstdn.social, and I'll put it all in the chat below and things like that. From his right? Is that the
Yeah, whatever's fine. But yeah,
okay.
his, sure.
Okay, that's what I figured. I always want to check and make sure, and I sometimes I mess up and I try to correct it. But so from his bio, industrialized information consumption apparatus, which I'm gonna need to know more about that. Boss fanatic, misguided believer in a better world, and owner of too many opinions. Eclexic has a toot that we can talk about in a bit that if you appreciate his work, that you can boost. His job right now is to replace gesture typing in Heliboard. Helps have more people contributing data or spreading the word around. And if you follow him for Heliboard stuff, send him a message and he'll follow you right back. Welcome, Eclexic. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing. I managed to sleep last night, which is great. So I'm not tired today, which is a welcome departure from the norm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is did you sleep well because of this, or is that just like just a fun, happy stance?
I slept well because it was a necessity for this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
See, I'm usually a mess. Like, I'm already starting to think about FettyCon, and like FettyCon's coming up in August, and I was like, I didn't realize it was so close. So my brain is starting to rack, and in bed, I'm like, no, I just had to focus on breathing and calming down. But that's good. I'm happy to hear that maybe in some small part I helped you get a good night's sleep. It's always important. So as usual, before we begin, how did you get to where you're at today? As much or as little as you would like?
Okay. Well, it all started. Wait, no. Basically, I sent Helium, the maintainer of Heliboard, a message saying, hey, it's really cool that you can actually change your keyboard layout however you like in Heliboard, because I used to work on some research related to designing a keyboard specifically for reducing the error rate in gesture typing, because there's like, yeah, that was the, then I was like, well, it makes it a lot easier for me to test stuff if I can actually change the keyboard in something that has gesture typing at will, which I could do. And also it was just like a great project. So I sent him a message and said, hey, this is really cool. Thanks for doing this. Eventually I ended up in this situation where Helium helped me get a grant with NLNet to replace the gesture typing in Heliboard. Because part of learning how to do optimization of keyboards for gesture typing is you have to learn a couple of things about gesture typing. That's right. So I'm by no means like the world's eminent expert, but I know a couple things.
Well, we'll step back even further then if we're jumping into Heliboard. Let's talk about what Heliboard is.
Sure. So Heliboard is an open source keyboard for Android, licensed under GPL v3, and might also be dual license, but regardless, the idea is that it is a keyboard like OSK, on-screen keyboard, that does not have internet access, and it provides gesture typing, which most open source keyboards do not provide gesture typing because it is hard.
Correct.
There are a couple of them, and most of them suck. Then, yeah. And ours only doesn't suck because we're using proprietary code that we hook into, because it happens to be, well, it's not really a coincidence. It happens to be compatible with the interface that we use for our C++ code in Heliboard. Yeah, it happens to be compatible because Google forked it and made a proprietary version of it. But yeah,
Which it's funny because I remember back in the day when Android actually came out, and we were all super excited because it was all free and open source. And then everyone was like, "Hey, they're getting a lot of power. All of these tools, like, there's a good chance they could shut them down if they want." And sure enough, that's exactly what they're doing with all of them.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, Heliboard, which is available on F-Droid.
F-Droid and on the GitHub, but F-Droid would be the place I recommend you get it.
Yeah, and that's where I got it from. And it is, as you said, it is a replacement keyboard, it's a privacy focused keyboard. But it has gesture typing, it has swipe typing, which not perfect, none of them are, but again, as you said, in the free and open source world, it's probably the best one that I've found that actually respects your privacy. And the other ones, can't remember. There was one other that said that they were working on it, but it honestly it's a very difficult thing to get right, right?
Yeah. Well, there is some news about that recently. I mean, you can debate about the open sourciness of it, or the fossiness of it, rather. I mean, it's available, but Fudo has released their work on this recently, and it's actually really good. It's actually really good. It's actually kind of like frustratingly good, because it's like, oh, I'm in the middle of working on this, and they did like a great thing. But you know, it's only good really for everybody except me.
Well, I've explained to people before. I want all software to be free and open source. I don't care if you think it's good, if you think it's bad, because there's always an opportunity for anyone to come along, either when you're working on it or even after you're done with it, to take that, learn from it, and they might not make something similar, but it's out there for everyone to share. You know,
sure.
We don't go to a public library and say, oh, there's 16 books on the medical field, so 15 of those are
irrelevant. Yeah, definitely not the case. Yeah, definitely not the case, right? So like, it was actually quite surprising because Fudo released their models via like permissive license, MIT licensed weights. And then they released a paper on how they trained those models. And then they also released a library for using those models, which is GPL v3. But I don't know who's going to use that. I mean, some keyboards will, because they are already GPL licensed, but anyone who isn't already GPL licensed may not, right? So,
well, how did you even get into this this kind of realm? Like, where did you start when I asked normally,
like,
normally the
end up in
people
gesture typing specifically.
Yeah, and I'm like not even going back to, well, I was born at a very young age, which I always find hilarious.
No, I get
like, from a kid, were you absorbed into computer stuff and then you built up in college? You were computer science. You went a completely different route, right?
No, I had absolutely no concept of how to use a computer. I couldn't even type until I was okay. So I couldn't type on your traditional QWERTY keyboard until I still can't. I can only henpeck on a QWERTY keyboard. I didn't learn to type until I decided in my 20s that I was going to learn to type in Dvorak, because I couldn't get past I can like henpeck with like 3 fingers on each hand, but I can't type, right? So there's that. And then as far as like computer literacy goes, I had almost no computer literacy at all. I couldn't solve the most basic of problems until I ended up in first year university, where I was there for art, and they made us take some engineering and comp sci classes. And I said, oh, this is really cool. This is like solving puzzles. This is great. And then I decided to go for 2 degrees, and that was a bad idea, but we got through it eventually.
Well, again, it brought you here. So was it like being here now? Does it seem like it was a bad idea?
I mean, this is cool, but everything before it, maybe not so great. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that's interesting, and that's how I explain software engineering to people. It's not only putting together the puzzle, but designing the pieces as you put them together. And I can look at someone else's puzzle and break it apart and understand it, but like I can't do software engineering. I do Bash scripting, and everyone in my community yells at me like, "This would have been better Python." I was like, "Yeah, probably would have."
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it would have been better in Python, how about you write it? Sounds good.
Right?
That's yeah.
And I'll be open and honest, and I might lose some community members, but I've used AI to even help me vibe code some things in Bash. Like, it just makes it a bit faster to understand being a long time software engineer that knows everything about computers. Where do you stand on that whole thing?
Oh, you've opened the can of worms.
Yeah, it's very easy and straightforward question to answer.
Okay, so I think there's a whole bunch of parts, and they're all kind of in conflict with one another. So the first thing, I think the most obvious thing, and this actually ties back to Heliboard, and we'll get to that in a moment, is that I think if you're going to use an LLM to help you code, for the love of all that is holy, please don't send it to me thinking that you're helping. That's fair. That's the number one. Okay. If you're going to make a thing for yourself and it's kind of broken, but it's like works and it does what you need it to do kind of, then like, sure, I guess that's fine. I think that it's sort of like endemic of a failure in software development in that there's a whole bunch of niches that are not being met by existing tools.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are willing to deal with crappy broken stuff that comes from an LLM suggests that we need to do a better job. I can't see it any other way. Like, I think it's sort of like, what is it? Like, was it Gabe Newell who said that piracy is a service problem?
Yep.
Right? Like, I think that the use of LLMs is a service problem. Like, I think that's,
I look at it too. There's a lot of people like, well, it was trained on open source code. It's theft. And I'm like, okay, then it's all open source. I'm fine with that. Right? Like, if you're building something from someone else's work, you need to at least.
Right. So I understand. Right. My problem from that perspective comes from like, this is completely incompatible with the current existence of copyright law. Like, there is actually no way to square the circle on this.
Yeah.
Because it's stolen partly from proprietary code, stolen partly from copyleft code. Okay. And if you do that, like, those are completely incompatible and this thing shouldn't be allowed to exist. Right. So in that, like, in our current legal framework, that is like not viable. However, maybe our current legal framework needs to change, but that's a different question, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that I do think that it is definitely like it's not great doing a whole bunch or grabbing a whole bunch of stuff that has no way for it to be cited properly and then is essentially like laundered stuff, right? Like, I think that's a problem. But the question is then, like, does it improve or make people's lives worse? And in my experience on the net, it makes people's lives worse, but it could, in theory, be good at making people's lives better. It could, in theory, right? But I haven't yet to see it happen.
I am a Proton Mail user. I have been since it released. I didn't even know about the Kickstarter, else I would have backed it then. But as soon as it came out, and so I have access because I'm a visionary level, which is, they don't even have that anymore. And they came out with Lumo 2, which now does graphical things. And I was kind of testing the waters with it, and energy and ecological devastation aside, which we know that it is great. It scares the hell out of me, the kind of pictures that I could make instantly that looks so real. And they try to, and every LLM tries to put in guardrails, and we all know that there's ways to work around it.
It's completely, like, it's fundamentally not possible, but
we've been seeing all of the articles too about how, like, the Linux kernel, like, they're just inundated with that kind of AI garbage code. And that doesn't track, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, like, there are a whole bunch of projects that have simply forbid LLM generated code entirely. Be it Godot and Zig are two big ones, right?
Can't blame them.
So, and and I can't blame them, because the reality is that even if you can make an argument that, well, I used the LLM and I checked it and I did everything right and so on and so forth. Aside, like, if I even believe you, right? Aside from, like, let's say you actually did all of that, the amount of PRs that are absolute garbage that help like nobody is so high that you need an army of reviewers in order to be able to determine what is good and what's not, right? Which is why I would say, like, please don't send me a PR made made by an LM. Like, even just from the perspective of, like, I don't know if you were to put that in and somehow we end up back at the same copyright system that we have been at, and then we just decide that all of this stuff is, like, not legal, right? Like, I don't know how this plays out. I don't think it will play out that way, but I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like we just say that, oh, well, actually, everything that's happened in open source for the last 4 years, like, we're just not allowed to do that anymore. Like, you just have to go back to 4 years ago because all of this is illegal now, right? Like, what do you, and this is not outside the realm of possibility that a law such as that could be passed. But the question is not like, well, like, what happens in that case, right? So
and you and I had talked, and you leverage an IDE now, which does do code suggestion, right?
Sure.
A wholly different situation. But, like, where do you, or even in general, where does Heliboard kind of draw the line with that?
Well, I don't think that Heliboard has an explicit policy. That would be up to Helium. I don't let in any PRs that are LM generated. Like, somebody sent in one for gesture typing, and they're like, hey, I got gesture typing working, and now, like, until you replace the library, you can use this. And it's like, cool. Like, no, but cool. That's right. Like, yeah, I mean, I just don't want to deal with it. Like, I have so much work to do that I don't want to deal with the additional load of somebody, like, throwing that at me.
And
right?
and I think that's it. It's not even just about the LLM stuff. It's also about, like, I want, your keyboard to do something that it doesn't. And then you folks are like, yeah, that's way outside the scope. And we see a lot of people that get upset about that. But all software is created by someone who has direct access to that. But you've made it open source. So there's nothing to prevent someone from taking the code and doing the same thing. And my camera's following me, so let me get it to stop. Hopefully, come on, stop.
No, we're good.
Yeah. I have to hold my hand up to get it to stop. It's hand gesture. It drives me nuts. But you were talking about someone had done data sets. So the way that I actually found out about Heliboard and got contact with you was you did you do it or Helium do it? There was there's a video on MakerTube, right?
Oh, I did it. Yeah.
That shows, and I'm going to show it in the browser here, all about Heliboard and the fact that you're attempting to do swiping, but you need people to use Heliboard, enable some things in order to opt in to helping statistical analysis of the swipes, right? So let's talk about that video.
Sure.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is me.
So, sorry, I actually have it up.
As I said, I went to school for art and I got 2 degrees, and one of them I had a couple of filmmaking courses, so I knew my way around. Yeah.
So when you watch my video, you're just like, oh, this is trash. You do so much better.
I mean, I think that I would like to change the logo, but other than that, I think that's
okay.
Yeah. But you're certainly a better interviewer than I am. I think that's really good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. But so yeah, you got involved with Heliboard. Helium is the person that is the main
the maintainer.
Maintainer, thank you, of Heliboard. And you got involved because you have this background. What was the background in not statistical analysis?
It was in design. It was designing keywords specifically to reduce the error rate in gesture typing.
How did you have the experience and background in something like that? How did you get there?
I just did it. I it was like an undergrad thing where I prof wanted me to do an undergrad research thing with him, and then said, you pick the topic. And I said, well, I really hate that my keyboard is wrong all the time. And then I just did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool. I didn't end up getting published because I'm really dyslexic and bad at writing, and no one really wanted to help me with the writing. So I couldn't really get past the review stage because of like, they were just like, oh, this is really, really poorly written. I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah.
But I mean, that again, you're perfectly aligned to contribute to something like this that is free and open source, and this is already in your wheelhouse, and you had done some of the things, and we all benefit from that, right?
Hopefully, yes. Yeah.
And so the steps, you have the steps here: install Heliboard, get a library for gesture typing. And I had done this, and I don't remember where I last left it. But then you have to enable a couple of things, and then use the keyboard, right?
Yes.
And there were some testing suites, I guess you would call them. How would you describe that?
Yeah. So like I built like a program specifically for you to be able to look at the gestures that you created. It's called Swipescope. It's a little bit hard to install because I happen to pick the exact libraries that are really hard to make a flat pack out of. Yeah, if I had used like anything else, it might have been okay. But
hindsight, right? You didn't know at the time, absolutely. I'm assuming. So
no. Yeah, I just did what would work for me. So it basically you could probably find it like if you just type in Codeberg, Eclexic, Swipescope, you'll probably find it. But basically the idea is you can take the data that you export from Heliboard, which you have to export by email because Heliboard doesn't have internet access, right? So we build an email for you using your preferred email client, attach the gesture code or the gesture data, and then send it off to us, right? But the thing is that you can actually take that out of there if you want. You could email it to a different address. You could save it as a file. You can open that up, put it in Swipescope, and you can prove that we are only collecting the data that we said we're collecting because it's like right there. You can look at it, right? So that's I think that's pretty cool. That was I thought that was like the only ethical way to do this personally. Like I thought that was right.
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay, so that's where it was. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then the other testing suite thing we have is a thing that I'm working on right now, but it is hidden because I don't want people sending me stuff until I've actually got it working, called SynchroSwipe, which hooks up to the new gesture library, and it takes the existing gesture data along with the rankings. So whenever you do a gesture in Heliboard in the active gathering, it will look to see if the word that you were asked to do is in the top, say, 15 suggestions, because there's more suggestions than just the top, like the top 3 that you see, right?
Okay.
So like every time you gesture a word, there's actually the first suggestion is what comes up into the text box.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Then you've got 3 more which are on the suggestion bar.
Right.
And if you long press on the suggestion bar, there's more of them.
Oh.
Right. And you could actually end up in some cases with some that are past that additional box. Right? So but we only go to the end of the additional box, right? So if it's anywhere in those top, say like 15 gestures or something like that, then we accept it and assume that the library just did a bad job of recognizing it, right?
As someone that's been using Heliboard for literally months now, since that video dropped, it works really well already. So do you feel that, again, you and I had talked about like the word the and a, those are easy ones. They're very common. So is it really like the last 10% is 90% of the work?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually, the problem is not actually not the longer words, but I wanted to get a whole bunch of different words in our sampling regardless, because I wanted to be able to see like what the stats on this look like. Actually, am I able to share my screen? I think I am. Can I share my screen first?
Should be. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
If it works.
Yeah, just a moment here. let's do entire screen, and we will do the middle. Share.
Oh wow, that's a
Okay.
beautiful. Did you draw
Yeah,
that?
I did not draw that. I got it from I can't remember their Mastodon handle. Do you want me to find their Mastodon handle? I can do that, but
That'd
just
be
give me a second
awesome.
and we'll.
I'd love to talk to
Yeah.
them. That's gorgeous.
Okay.
I see a terminal, but I can't really read what's on there. I don't know if that's important.
You don't need to be able to read what's on there. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. Clean up those warnings.
Yeah, in a bit. Not right now. Okay, so right now we have 757,602 gestures that people have sent in.
Oh my
and,
god! Whoa.
Mm-hmm. So right now, because I don't have any gesture code link hooked up, this is just us is in red here. This is like failed test. So we're failing every single test right now, but that's fine. We'll get past that. You can see the data on how the current library did because we keep the order of the suggestions, right? So we know that we asked you to do, say, the word the, right? Mm-hmm. And it came out as the, right? And then that's a perfect score, right? So perfect is blue, green is good. It's on the suggestion bar, but not the word that we wanted. Or it's on the suggestion bar, but we didn't get it as the top suggestion, right?
Okay.
And then bad is it's in that extra area, right? In that like long press area. And then red is failure. It didn't show up at all. You had to force accept it. Okay.
Interesting.
Then we have how well it's doing by the length of the word. So you can see here, actually, shorter words are worse. It is only, this is not exactly the same as the previous slide here. Like this is not 80% of them are perfect. This is less than 80% of them are perfect, but sometimes it's on the suggestion bar, and I've got a special ranking for that. But basically, it's like 75% of the time, a word that's 4 letters long is correct, right? Which is bad. That's bad. That's really bad. Okay. And then there's by the frequency of the word. So the less frequent the word is, the less likely it is to be correct. In fact, it's like once you get down to really low frequencies, it's less than 50% of the time. But once you get up to here, like you get to 100% close-ish when you get to, like, this is 215
letters.
The frequencies in Heli. No, this is the frequency of the word. The frequency of the word. So in Heliboard, the frequency of a word goes from 0 to 255 because it's an 8-bit unsigned int, right? But the reality is that if you want, like, these don't actually like reflect proper frequencies, but they are what Heliboard considers frequencies. So we're saying if Heliboard thinks this is a frequent word, then how likely is it to be how likely is it to show up when you're gesture typing? And obviously they do have some bias towards frequent words, which is a good idea, right? It's just like how biased should it be? And that's where we're at right now. So this is for all languages combined. And then you've got, Well,
and it's really interesting because talking about this now makes me realize that short words are so difficult because it could end up being not the short word, but a part of the long word, right? So let's just take THE, the. It could be the, or it could be there, or there, or there, or theory, or theorem, or whatever.
This is true for tap typing, but for gesture typing, it's actually not true. So it could be any word that starts with T and ends with E.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Interesting.
It doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily them, because you've right? But there, it could.
Sorry.
Right. So when you do a gesture recognition, the first thing you do is a thing called feature extraction. And in like really naive feature extraction, all you do is you look where the beginning of the gesture is, and you look where the end of the gesture is. You draw some circles around those points, right? And then you say it ends or starts with one of these keys, right? So it's like a T or one of the letters around it, right?
Yeah.
And then E or one of the letters around it. So now you have like just like a smaller section of words to look through, right? but you still have to iterate through that set of words. And then if you do it smarter, you can do feature extraction where you look at every corner and every loop. And when you change rows, but you had gone like, you take a detour, but it's not like a sharp corner, and you can take all of those different features, give them points as well, and then say, well, around here, there's a word, around here, there's a letter, around here, there's a letter. And you can say, you can actually make a regex out of it, and you can look through all of the words in your dictionary.
Can't, but you can.
Yeah.
I hate a regex.
Yeah. So you can filter the words that you want by a regex, or what is actually smarter is it's called a prefix tree, which is where you
God.
Yeah. So if you've probably actually seen a prefix tree before. I would not be surprised. So if
yeah. Oh, I've definitely seen these.
Yeah. So what you can do is you can use your feature extraction to look through the prefix tree and eliminate anything that doesn't match it, right? So you can get a small set of words to do your gesture recognition on like pretty quickly. But even still, when you do all of that, right, you still are left with a situation of like the two gestures could be really similar. So a really obvious example is like in German, there's a word called den, a den, right?
Okay.
And that's a really common word. It's like almost as common as the, right? And then they have another word, which is in like the top 20, and it's denn, right? So those two words have the same gesture if you don't allow loops, which most gesture typing keyboards don't, right?
Okay.
Like the only common gesture typing keyboard that ever allowed like loop detection was Swipe. So that was
So you do multi-language too?
Oh, of course, yeah. So that like big thing that I showed you before, it had bars for every language that we have data for.
How many languages are you working on right now?
I think we had 36, but it's actually more dictionaries than that. It was 63 dictionaries, but 36 languages.
What is when you get emails for these things, what is the most unique language that has stuck out to you that someone contributed from?
We got some data from. Oh, we got a surprising amount of Arabic. I had no guess that we were going to get a ton of Arabic, but I think we have like 20 to 30,000 gestures in Arabic.
Wow.
And we get a reasonable amount of Russian. We get a lot of French, a lot of German, a lot of Italian. I think we have we have single words in some languages. I think. So let me see. Yeah. Anyway,
you come across as very excited and passionate about something like this. And would you say that like this is something you absolutely love to do? Do you enjoy like doing data analysis on this, coding, working with these languages?
Yeah, I think it's great, mainly because I think it has a purpose, right? Like I think there's like a reason to do it, because like I personally, I have the worst time finding my own typos whenever I'm using Heliboard. And it's the same with every other gesture keyboard I've ever used. And the only solution I have is to make it better at gesture recognition so that I don't have typos. Okay. So the only way that I'm going to fix my typos is if I do this. That's the only way it's happening.
I love that because again, open source, we like to think of it as, you know, it is very humanitarian. You know, I don't know if big tech companies are really caring about other languages like Arabic or not. I assume they primarily focus on English, but you know, a lot of it comes from a selfish need. And I don't mean selfish in a terrible way, but like you don't normally create something just to create it with open source. Someone has a need to create something and then other people join in and help with it. And that's kind of like your situation. Now, you, again, your name Eclexic comes, I don't know if I said this earlier, it comes from eclectic dyslexic, which I love that name. That's such a great name. Like this led you, because of your dyslexia, this led you to work on this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Uh, yeah, it's not only my dyslexia, but also like my for whatever reason, I have like trouble tap typing. I've tried a whole bunch of times, but I'm so bad at tap typing. I'm terrible at gesture typing, but I'm even worse at tap typing. It's like just unbelievable. So yeah, but so like I use gesture typing out of necessity. I hate it, but I use it out of necessity, right? Because if I'm ever going to type anything on a phone, then I got to type somehow, right? If I could, like, just have like a floating tap typing, like split keyboard that is like just watching my fingers and letting me type like that, I'd probably do that instead,
What
right?
about
But that's,
what about voice to text?
oh gosh, isn't that terrible? It's
It's
just so bad.
it is
It's
awful,
like,
but could you see yourself in the future that like if it gets better, which especially again with the advent of the way that AI is going, like it is getting a lot better. I mean, I remember the 90s when Dragon Natural Speaking was a thing and it was an absolute joke and at least is mostly right, but do you
isn't
ever
Dragon?
yeah, oh, you don't know Dragon Naturally
Oh
Speaking?
no, I know Dragon. It wasn't
Oh,
owned
okay.
by Nuance, the same people who own Swipe.
I don't know. That's a good question. But could you ever see yourself using something like that over swipe or type, especially since um
I don't think so. So I think the fundamental problem with speech to text is that you can't use it in a noisy environment. Like
it
you're just
is
never going to be able to use it in a noisy environment, which means you can't use it
that is
on
true.
public transit.
Yeah.
You can't use it in like a doctor's office, right? If you're waiting for, waiting for your appointment or whatever, you're not going to be speaking into your phone unless you're like incredibly antisocial, I guess. But
And
that's yeah.
you were correct. Nuance has that. Nuance makes the swipe keyboard.
Yeah, they
So it's
Nuance made Swipe with a Y, right? Before
oh, that's
Microsoft bought
right.
it.
SWYPE is what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that. What? Sorry, my chat's talking about some other things. Um
Yeah.
what Sorry, excuse me. Um I got completely derailed now. What were we talking about?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think we were talking about would I work
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And I said I don't think so, mainly because I don't think I could ever see myself using it.
Okay.
I only have ever used I do use so there's a thing that you can hook into Heliboard called Sayboard, which is a different app that there's you can set yourself a button in Heliboard and press the microphone button and it'll bring up Sayboard, right?
Okay.
And then you can speak into Sayboard and get a word. And I only ever use it for singular words that I don't know how to spell.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. See,
Yeah.
I'm like you. I don't like talking to my phone, having to do type, but also I'm never alone. Like I have two kids, I have a wife, like I'm working, I'm in public, and like I don't want people to know I'm
It's
talking to
also
someone else.
fundamentally
So
like less private,
it
right?
yeah. Yeah.
It's just like is like they get half the conversation, right? Like that's the
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's why I was telling someone earlier too. It's like who was it? So, oh, it was, I got a new laptop for work, and someone was like, "Yeah, just call me." And I was like, "I hate talking on the phone. Come on, just type. I'm so much better with that." But and I don't remember where we ended up with this. You
Mhm.
again. I said you seem very passionate about this. You seem to really enjoy this. Can you see, assuming that NLNet or some other funding is through, like, is this something that you love that you would want to do for a long time, or do you think that this
I would love
project
to.
is close to
If
its
I
end
could make
goal?
an entire living out of doing nothing but making open source software, I would
Yeah.
do that. The reality is I don't know how feasible that is, but I would do that. Like even like honestly, my plan was that if I didn't end up getting this end on that grant, I was still going to spend this year doing this work because
Okay.
I have a little nest egg that I could use. Um, but yeah. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, so you asked about like how I ended up in this, and we
Yeah.
only got half of the story, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the other half of the story is that when I graduated, from university after my really long time doing 2 degrees. I decided that I was going to go try and work in Silicon Valley. So
sorry.
Yeah. So I interviewed at a couple of them, right? And never heard back. But the interviewers really loved me and they wanted me on the team, but they didn't actually have the means to hire anybody. But that was like it's weird. I don't really get how any of it works. I think it's mostly like anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's
if I had succeeded at that, I'd probably be dead in a ditch somewhere, like overdose on ketamine or something. I don't know. That's right. So
I'm laughing because you're not right.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, right? So yeah, and so I tried, but I didn't end up there. And what ended up happening instead is that I ended up getting rear-ended at a red light, and I spent like several years the last decade in like chronic pain.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I didn't end up in. Yeah, well, that's life, right?
Yeah.
So I have been spending that whole time just trying to get my life back on track, and then so I haven't been working in a reliable job for a long time, right? So this gave me an opportunity to work on something using the skill set that I have that was on my time schedule, right? Something that I could work on days where I actually felt well, and
you feel
do something valuable.
Yeah,
right?
You feel productive. This means a lot to you personally, but you know that this actually contributes to the wider whole. And I think that that's what a lot of people want. They don't want a job that they just needlessly do, whatever the boss says. It's not fulfilling, but at least you have productivity. You feel a sense of accomplishment.
Sure, yeah. But the truth is, I would not likely have ended up in this situation had I not been rear-ended at that red light, because I would be working somewhere right now, and it would be my full-time job to be prompting the chatbot as it spews out garbage and making the software that you rely on worse. That would be my job right now. Right?
You described my job. Thank you. No, and I mean life works that way, right? Like you're handed something and you need to figure out how to make the best of it. And I think we're all better off because of Heliboard. If folks are out there and haven't tried Heliboard, it's only on Android, I would assume. It's not on
It's
iOS.
only on Android. The plan is that the gesture typing library I make should be operating system agnostic, like I'm writing it in Rust. So hopefully, I don't know what the work is to get that linked into like iPhone, but the plan is that we will be getting it linked into things like Plasma Keyboard and Stevia, which are the GNOME keyboard and the KDE keyboard.
Is there a lot of call for that?
Well, I mean, it depends on how mobile Linux goes. And it's going. It's slow, but it's going.
Yeah, I think a lot of us Uber nerds like myself, Linux folks, I was literally just having a conversation yesterday. It's like it keeps coming up every once in a while. We really want this. We want to have power and choice over our phones again. And Android is already Linux, for those that don't know. Very locked down, very bastardized Linux.
Sure. Yeah.
But how does it, how can we get there? And people keep trying. And it's great to know that like, I already know that Heliboard works because I use it daily. So that would be awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, the idea is that okay, so let's say we end up in a future where Google has completely locked down Android and you can't even install stuff from F-Droid and nobody has any means of stopping them.
Yeah.
Maybe we can't even put Heliboard on the Play Store because they will come up with any reason that they want to decide that Heliboard shouldn't be on there because they want you to use Gboard because that provides them data for their LLMs. Let's say that this is a possible future. So in that future, if I was to make this library such that it only works for Heliboard, then that's pretty self-defeating, right? Because that means that if there is some other contender that comes along later that could be a popular phone OS that isn't Android or iPhone, which I don't know, maybe it happens, right? Then this code would not get used there, right? If it was stuck inside of Heliboard, right?
Yeah.
So That's the idea, right? Is to try and make it so that it could be used wherever. Um,
Awesome.
Hopefully we get there. Yeah. So that, like, because I don't know, I'm thinking ahead, right? So part of the reason that I even picked Rust to write it in is simply because it seems like it's increasingly popular, right?
Yes,
It's not. There are a lot of things to say that to like about the language. That's fine, right? But the main thing is that, like, if I was to write something today, I'm not going to write it in Fortran, okay? Simply because I'm not going to be able to get that many contributors,
yeah.
right? And likewise, I don't think that you want to write something in C++ right now because I don't think many people want to touch it. Like our current gesture, like the implementations that exist of gesture typing that are not licensed properly do exist in C++. There are like the code that we have to hook into is C++, and we don't get contributions to that. But also, like, we can't really easily get contributions because if we try and change our C++ code too much, then it actually breaks our interface with the Google library so that we can't have gesture typing anymore. So if we change our C++ code, then it actually like makes us not able to use the Google library, which would lose us a feature. So that code is like completely static right now, and it will be until I get gesture typing fixed. So there's a whole portion of the code base that we can't touch right now. And part of this grant is like me looking through that huge code base and documenting it so that I can so that we can actually change it. Right. Yeah. Like, because it's a blocker, right? Like Heliboard can't do certain things because it's locked into this interface because we like skim off of the proprietary library.
And that is amazing, is that you're able to not only actually do it as a day job and be able to support yourself, but to look at what existing is there and free it. Like you're rewriting it. And I think I've tried to figure out Rust. I can read C. I like C because C is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple and I can follow it. Whereas Rust, it takes a lot of that ownership and it's just like, just trust us. Just let us handle it. You do it this way and we'll take care of the other stuff. And I'm just like, but I want to know how it works. But you're right. There's, especially over the last, like 10 years, I think is what it's been around now. You've seen multiple articles again about how such and such a company or the US government's like, we want it written in Rust. And people are like, well, we don't know the fallout of that yet. And it's like, but it addresses a serious problem that we know we have now. And so a lot of people are pushing towards that.
I mean, memory safety is great. But that's genuinely not the reason that I picked it. I picked it entirely because there's a whole bunch of nerds that want to write stuff in Rust.
Yeah. That's smart.
Right? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of nerds that want to write stuff in Fortran too, but there's not as many. That's the, that's
yes. Yeah.
Right?
No, it's everyone picks their mountain and there's a lot of people on the Rust mountain right now. And it's smart.
I think it'll stay that way for a little while at least. Right. So the idea is that I'd like the code to be like maintainable. And the only way for it to be maintainable is if people know how to read it and want to interact with it. Right. Like that's the only way that it's maintainable. Right. And so well documented and in a language people want to write. That's my only solution. Right.
Excellent. But before we move on to the most important part of the interview, what is your end goal for your swipe gesture work that you're doing, or where would you like to see it go, etc.?
Okay. So an end goal is a hard thing to say. I would like to see us find some way to get our gesture code to, even if it means hooking into other projects that exist, right, and making a horrible mishmash of things. I'd like to see it provide better results than the current library, right? And potentially, I'd like it to provide better results than like stuff that comes out of Silicon Valley. Okay.
Do you have statistics on those? Like, what are their success rates?
So I have the success rate for the Google library that Heliboard hooks into. You saw those, right?
Yep.
The success rates for Gboard and Apple's keyboard and SwiftKey. I
Mhm.
don't have their success rates, but Fudo claims that they got a pretty good measure of them. Basically, they simulated
Okay.
gestures onto a phone that had those keyboards hooked in, and then they said, well,
Yeah.
this is the word that it's supposed to be, and then they did some gestures, and it came up as in their tests, they outperformed all of them, which I think is, I think that suggests that the tests are slightly flawed, because I think that the Fudo keyboard is really, really good, but I don't think it's better than Gboard, right? I've used Gboard and it's good, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't used it in a couple of years, but when I did use it last, it was good, right? So
Well, and again, I mean, Fudo's it looks to be open source, and yours is, so it
yeah, it's
might come in the
possible.
future where you folks collaborate together to uh
I hope
make it
so. That'd be
even
great.
better. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
The more we
yeah,
can work
yeah.
together, the better we all get.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that, but that's the end goal, right? I'd like to see it in Heliboard,
Hmm.
doing better than the current Google library. I'd like to see it in Florasport. I'm already talking with the Florasport people, and some of them
That
actually
was
follow
the
me on
one.
Kassan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Florasport has just
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, Florasport had gesture typing, but they
Yes.
took it out because it was provided to them by somebody gave them a PR that was some code that no one explained, it wasn't documented, and it worked sort of, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
And but this is sort of like the problem, right? Like whenever you put something out there and nobody knows how it works, there isn't documentation on it, and it's not in something that somebody wants to write. It's like it's not helpful, right?
It's
And
not
that's sort of like the
maintainable.
fundamental.
Yeah.
Well, that's the fundamental problem. Like when we go back to the LLM stuff, right? Is that that's just an acceleration of that same problem. Like this happened before. Somebody would come in and then they'd slapdash together something that ostensibly works, but nobody knows how it works, and it just sits there. It's like this thing that you have to code around now, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. So anyway, so I'd like to see it in Heliboard, Florasport. I'd like to see it in Plasma Keyboard, and I'd like to see it in Stevia, and I'd like to see it in anyone else's keyboard that wants to take it. That'd be great. Um, yeah.
And everyone, folks can reach out to you through what's the best way? Just through Mastodon or email?
Or if you are more conscientious, through Matrix or through email, I can
That's right.
give.
You're on Matrix. That's how I talk to
I
you.
am on Matrix. Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Matrix. And um, yeah. But we're already in contact with the Stevia people. I actually, we've put in a grant for next year to work on Stevia. Which means that it would come to GNOME. Then the idea is that we would take the same library, hook that into Stevia, and we would get gesture typing in Stevia, the exact same gesture typing. Because the idea would be that hopefully, if enough people are relying on this thing and are upset at how bad it is at providing correct suggestions, then they would help me make it better. That'd be cool. Yeah.
And I think that's again a big thing. We for those that are non technical or non software engineers, like I've been on that outside where it's just like it's scary. It's like I don't want to tell this person that their code is wrong, but I think software engineers know for a fact that there's going to be bugs. You can't make code without bugs. And for those that contribute, it's fun seeing a community like of people offering to help you.
Absolutely.
It's
Well,
fun.
it's not just that it's impossible to make code without bugs. It's impossible to make code that stays bug free even if you don't touch it, right?
Yeah.
Because things change around your code,
Bit
right?
rot. Yeah.
Things that you can't. Yeah, absolutely. Bit rot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
All
So,
right.
are we getting on to the most important part?
Of course. Now, for the real reason I asked Eclexic here is to give them the opportunity to win a prize of our lifetime. Our prize today is a keyboard that only types stats so that you can analyze all the statistics of word frequency. It's also a palindrome, so no problem with dyslexia there. And that's not really how it works, but all right, are you ready for the quiz?
Yes, I'm ready for the quiz.
As always, favorite movie, and why is it Spaceballs? Though it doesn't have to be, but that is the best movie in the world, so, you know.
Huh? Yeah. So, the reason it's Spaceballs is because it came directly to VHS before it was ready in theaters. And
It did. It's a
okay,
new breakthrough in technology.
yes, absolutely. They hadn't even finished filming yet, and it was already on VHS. It was incredible.
That is,
and no one's done it since. You know, like you can't beat that. That is a technological marvel. Okay, and but the real answer is Cloud Atlas. Have you watched that one? It's a Wachowski's Matrix. Oh yeah.
Oh wait, no. I think is that the? Hang on, that's the one where she is. No, this is not what I've seen. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking.
No, Cloud Atlas. That's your homework. You're supposed to watch Cloud Atlas now.
I will do that.
It's excellent. It's it's the sort of movie you watch it once and you think, wow, that was really overwhelming. And then you watch it a second time, you're like, wow, there's a whole bunch of things I didn't notice. And you watch it a third time, you're like, what are the other things I didn't notice? And then it's like it's really, really good. Okay, I think it's a great movie. I think it's their best one. But that's people disagree on that. So
does that have Tom Hanks?
It does have Tom Hanks and Halle Berry, and of course it has why can't I remember his name? Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving. And it has
oh, there's a lot. Oh, I'm definitely
Hugh
watching
Grant.
this.
Yeah. It's got all the names.
Susan Sarandon.
Yep.
I know some of these. I'll definitely watch.
And a lot of these, and everybody plays multiple roles. Everybody plays multiple roles. It's kind of fun.
Weird, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's great. Great movie.
I remember hearing it. I have never watched this, but I will be watching that. Thank you. Okay, cool. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Excellent answer. Love that.
Okay.
All right. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Helix, helium, or heliotrope?
Helium.
Why helium?
Of course. Well, because he does a great job. He works so hard. Come on. This is it's like nuts. I don't even know. He has a day job. You know that, right? Like he doesn't get paid for Heliboard, and he has a day job, and he puts in so much time. I feel like I'm always chasing to keep up with him. Like it's crazy. He's it's just so much work. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and as soon as when I was coming up the questions, I'm like, what are HELI words? So I had to go searching, and I saw helium. Oh, the most common element in the universe. Is it helium? No, hydrogen. That's
hydrogen would be how most common. Yeah.
But helium, I knew, and I'm like, oh, I'm putting that in. And then as soon as you started talking about it, I'm like, oh shit, that's right. That's the maintainer of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Right,
so I cheated. Fine. I cheated. That's yeah.
You cheated at the completely nonsensical quiz. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Excellent answer. I'm sure Helium would appreciate it. And thank you. All of us, thank you, Helium. If you hear or see this somehow, for all the work. Heliboard is awesome. It is my keyboard of choice on Android. So, next question. And I think you're north of the U.S., so these are desserts. I have no idea how to pronounce this. Nanaimo bar?
Yeah.
Or butter tart?
That's correct.
Or sugar pie?
Oh, but Nanaimo bar.
Okay, why Nanaimo bar?
Okay, well, you're going to Fosse, right?
I am.
Well, you better get one.
I will. Especially now that you suggested.
Okay, so Nanaimo bars are they're sort of if you could think of a coconut laced fudge, and then you've got a nice custard, and then a thick custard, and then a piece of chocolate over top. It's it's great.
It looks like a brownie.
No, it's a decadent. I get so. A brownie is more soft, right? I would think, right? Most of the ones you've had are soft, right? Nanaimo bar is crunchy on the bottom. It's got that Oreo filling kind of feel of the custard in the middle, right? And then it's got the chocolate on top, right? It's pretty good. I would highly recommend. It's the best way to die of diabetes. It's great. That's especially if you like coconut. It's great.
Yeah, I've had what the heck was it? There was some kind of maple cookie or something that someone from Canada once brought me, and they were just they're we were all at work. We were all fighting over these maple cookies because they're just incredibly delicious. So many good things come out of there, like poutine. Had poutine before
Yeah.
that. Oh, so good.
Poutine is good. I feel so. I had somebody tell me that there was an article they read that explained the greatness of poutine, and it's obvious. It's so obvious when you think about it. So poutine is in the exact same category as pizza. Okay, it's a carb with a sauce and cheese. Incredible. It's
Yeah.
you,
I
yeah,
never thought of it that way, but yes, that is true. That's
yeah. You
awesome.
can't beat that.
All right. Next question. What does an alternate universe eclexic do?
Alternate universe eclectic. Oh, we talked about alternate universe eclectic. He ended up in Silicon Valley and
Oh,
he OD'd on ketamine and died in a ditch. It's the
okay. All right. Well, I have, as you know, I have an alternate universe phone. It changes from week to week. This week it is ScrubSat 4%
uh-huh.
that you use before surgery.
Yeah.
And when I reached out, he actually says he goes by the name the monolithic monotonic. I don't know. Where he sits there doing software, and whenever anyone requests anything, he just types no and just stares at the screen.
Oh, those are life goals.
So maybe it's a future you. He's already ahead of the game. So there you go.
The courage to tell every user no, incredible.
I can't even imagine when, like, I've had so many suggestions for software developers, and they're always so nice about it. They're like, "That's a great idea, but that is completely against what I'm going for." And they like are always so apologetic, and I'm like, "No, dude, it's your software. Like, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
don't worry about it."
Yep.
All right. So the next question: QWERTY, Dvorak, or Colmac?
Okay. This is a hard question. So on an OSK, you don't want Dvorak. It is bad because everything's in a line.
What is an OSK?
Oh, on-screen keyboard. So Heliboard,
Okay.
right? You don't want Dvorak because everything's in a line. All your gestures are going to look basically the same. It's just like going back and forth like this, right? You don't want Dvorak for that. Dvorak's pretty good on a keyboard, like a physical keyboard. I used Dvorak for many years. Used Programmer's Dvorak. Excellent. There are better keyboards out there now. There are some that take one of your letters and puts it on your thumb. So you have one thumb for spacebar and one thumb for one of your keys. Those are great. There are a whole bunch of those. Okay. Excellent if you have like a Moonlander or one of the ZSA's like split keyboards like the Ergo.
I have, yeah. That's what I have.
The Ergodox. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Highly recommend one of those ones that splits to put one of the characters on your thumb cluster. But so Dvorak on a physical keyboard and QWERTY on an OSK.
Okay, wow. Interesting.
QWERTY is sort of middle of the road for gesture clarity. It's like I remember looking at this and it was okay. I don't know where Colmac landed. I suspect it'd be worse. There is a better keyboard that is in the same IBM layout, which is what I use currently. It's you'll be able to find it in the dataset. It's called GKC. It was made by some guys at Google who used to work on gesture typing, but now they work on VR stuff. Yeah, it's the layout for it is actually in the Mastodon post. If you look through,
okay.
I posted the setting for it into the yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've only ever learned QWERTY. I am afraid to attempt to learn something else. There was one time at a job where we were messing around with someone and we changed their keyboard to Dvorak and they couldn't figure out why all the keys changed, and then we couldn't figure out how to get it back because all the keys changed.
Yeah.
So I stay away from
absolutely.
it now.
Well, okay. So as I said, I had to learn to type again, and the only way that I was able to do it was learn Dvorak, right? So I have done the learning a new keyboard thing probably 4 or 5 times, and I'll tell you that if you want to learn a new keyboard on a phone, it takes 2 days. But if you want to learn a new keyboard with a typing, like a physical typing keyboard, it takes like 3 weeks.
I mean, that's my split keyboard. I've had it for months now, and I still have a cheat sheet because there's just some keys you don't need, but once you get it, like, yeah, you can switch back and forth between all of them, and it just like it's retraining your brain, and then once you go back, it's just kind of like you flip a switch and you get it. It's interesting. And
especially if they're different. Yeah,
go ahead.
Especially if they're different modalities, right? So if you were touch typing, right? Then that's right. So if you, I can still do QWERTY because I never learned to type QWERTY properly. I can still do QWERTY like this with my 3-finger henpack, right? But I can't do Dvorak anymore because I actually learned how to do Dvorak touch typing, and I learned a different keyboard since then, and I can't do Dvorak anymore.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so Cinerate, someone in the chat says, one of the things I love about Fireside Fetty is Ozone will ask his deliberately dumb question. Thank you. And I'll learn a load of interesting shit when it gets taken more seriously. I know. That's why actually I keep doing this, is because so many folks, I just go with whatever seems relevant, and folks have such deep, insightful thought. Like when I said QWERTY, Dvorak, and Colmac, I was just thinking of a standard keyboard, but it makes sense that you completely think of it as, and I learned this today, an OSK, because that's what you are primarily focused on. And it's interesting. And I love that answer. That was so cool. Thank you.
It matters, I think. I mean, a whole bunch of people still use QWERTY for everything, and that's fine. It's very middle of the road on just about every metric, and that's okay. That's Yep.
Ember 40 is a new librarian and totally new to this space, but got recommended to Fediverse Up Party. Can you explain what the Fediverse is? Yes, I absolutely can explain what the Fediverse is, but unfortunately, right now is not the time. You can hit me up. Anyone can hit me up. Ozone at btfree.social.
Give them a link. There's a thing for this. What is the Fediverse?
Oh, there's tons of them. That's a good idea.
Yeah, there's a.
Jointhefediverse.net.
There's one that have really great infographics. Oh, here it is. Jointhefediverse.net. Yeah, that's the one. Yep, that's the one. So Matt.
I think, is this one Danseup did? Danseup did. I don't know. Someone did. Yeah. Oops. It helps if I actually spell it right. There we go. All right. Excellent. I love that answer. That was insanely insightful. That was great. Where did my thing go now? Oh, yeah. Anyway, it doesn't. As usual, the last question will be sent telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
Eclexic, take your time. Think about it. Let me know when you have an answer. And here it comes. And there's your question. Now, I feel like this isn't fair because Eclexic has actually seen the show, which always makes me feel weird. So you might have been already thinking about the answer. So I'm going to stall to make it seem like you didn't know. But
I actually don't know what the question is.
Oh, let me send it again then.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there was the question. It's a very complex and deep question. There's no right or wrong answer. Unless you get it wrong, then it's wrong.
Sure. Okay. So the answer is Tolkien.
Really? Mm-hmm. That is one of the most shocking answers I've had to that question yet.
Yeah. So the reason is is that it's incredible how out of left field everyone with power's interpretation of Tolkien is, where they have decided that they would like to be Sauron and they think that Sauron's the good guy.
What?
Well, that's Palantir, right? That's like literally Palantir, right? That's Peter Thiel. That's like yeah. He has literally said that he interprets Sauron as the good guy in Lord of the Rings. He has literally he's quoted saying that. And then yes. Okay. So there's Thiel interprets Sauron as the good guy because he is opposed to the concept of like democracy, right? And then there's Palantir, which is literally named after like the evil orb that no one should should give their power over to, right? And then there's even like home security systems that tried to like get in on this and they called themselves Sauron. And then there's Anduril, which is like the Miltech contractor in the US that like makes like missiles and shit. They're just like, yeah. So there you go. There's my answer. It's Tolkien. Uh, I didn't mean to leave you with a horrible headache.
No, I mean it makes sense, but it's
Yeah.
just like one of those like someone watching Star Wars and thinking that the Empire or the Emperor is just oppressed and he's fighting the
Oh yeah,
rebellion.
totally. Yeah,
That's
yeah. It's so bad.
ridiculous.
So okay, I mean, like this happens in like Warhammer 40K as well. You get all these people. They're like, "Wow, the Empire's so fucking cool, man," and it's like,
No.
dude, you do not want to be in the Empire. Like, you really don't. Like,
The one thing that I like about and I never really fully got into Warhammer 40K, but one of the things that I absolutely love about Warhammer 40K is no one pretends to be the good guy. Like they're all shades of different kinds of awful for themselves, right? Like they do terrible things for their own people, and it's like at least you're honest about it. So
yeah.
oh my gosh. Well, congratulations, you got every answer either correct or incorrect. Good job.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, when I went to go get you your prize, the keyboard that only typed out stats, I noticed it was missing some letters. It had an S, T, and an A, but it was missing the other T and the S, so I had to send it back.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if I wanted something that only spits out statistical probabilities, I could just use an LLM, so that's fine.
There you go. All right. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you all very much. If folks can remember to like, subscribe, all of that, even downvoting, interacting anyway is how things traverse through the Fediverse. So let me know how you liked this or didn't like it, and we will catch you on the Fediverse. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great one. Bye.
Toodles.